Hi everyone, welcome back to Rich's Garage and a look at the completed 2015 Cancer Awareness build. So I finished this a little bit earlier today. This is my 70 Wildcat Buick. Give you a quick little spin here and talk about some of the stuff. So it came out real nice. I'm really happy with it. There's a couple little slight little fit things with it, but overall I'm really happy with it. Last time I showed you was before I sprayed the clear, and the clear that I used was this Rust-Oleum automotive enamel that I decanted into a 3/4 ounce bottle, and then I sprayed it through my airbrush. So I gave it 3 coats, 20 minutes apart, and after that dried, then I lightly buffed it with Novus #1 polish. That's all I did with that. I used the pens that I spoke about for the chrome. It came out. I'm happy with how it came out. Give you a little closer up look at that versus the kit chrome that's on there. I used the Sharpie to outline the marker lights, and then I used a little mix of these two Createx. So the red, obviously I just use it straight out to do the rear marker, and then I take the yellow and just dip the tip of the brush in the red to 1 drop of the yellow, and it gives me a pretty good amber color for the representing the yellow marker lights. So I use them, and one of the reasons why I tell you what I use is because I enjoy seeing what you guys use. It's helpful to see what products other guys are using and how they come out. Point in fact, Chris at Classic Plastic 101 was saying that he uses Aleene's tack glue for gluing in windshields, and I happened to be in an AC Moore store, and they had this multi-pack with different glues. So I'd never tried it, so let me try this, and I actually glued in the windshield with this Fast Grab, which it says it's a little thicker. Here, let me probably read let's see if this shows up. There you go. So if you're interested, those are the 4 different types. And with this windshield, it's all one piece, and there's these 2 plastic strips that tie the front and rear glass together. And I thought about cutting them. I didn't want to risk the chance of getting a crack coming through the windshield, so I left it. But I used that one for harder applications because it's thicker, up along the roof line to hold the glass in, and it did a good job. Because I did notice when I was dry fitting this that it's pretty heavy and it'll pull off the pegs if you don't glue it, so I glued that in. Before I put in, there was a couple of scratches. I used the Novus #2 and then Novus #1 on the glass. I was going to dip it in future and all that, and I decided not to. It looks fine for me the way this is. The one thing I did do with the Sharpie, because I had a finer point, is kind of almost like a dry brush application, just hinting over the Wildcat. The kit gives you decals that go over this, but I didn't want to deal with the decal film over the lettering if I didn't get it. And I, obviously want to get it perfectly on top of, like the registration, on top of the Wildcat itself, so you don't have it offset. So what I did was I just took the Sharpie and just lightly brushed it on a couple of points on the script, and I did that on all the lettering. And your eye will fill in the blanks. At least my eye does, right? So if you just let me see if I move this a little bit closer to the camera, see if you can. Let's see a little bit further back. It kind of fills in. If I tried to color over the whole Wildcat, I would just get a big blob of silver. So I'm happy the way that came out. Put a little dot for the lock. They give you decals for the Buick shield, for the rear bumper, as well as the front bumper, which came out nice. I put, what I usually use to glue in windshields and stuff is microscale microcrystal. And I've used this to actually form windows in HO size cabooses. And what I did is I put this over the headlights and the lower marker lights, and it just takes away, filters a little bit, so you don't get that, the chrome reflects more than the lights. So it just gives a little subtle thing so you can see it's a headlight lens and not just the chrome. And I also went over the Buick. You can see the Buick letters in the front. And they give you decals for that as well, but again, I didn't want to deal with the film on here and then have to re-clear and try and blend all that in. Some models, or some real car pictures I've seen have the chrome trim on the hood. Some I've seen go all the way across. Some I see with none. So I left it off since this is kind of a, obviously a non-standard GM Buick paint color. Let me see. I think that's about everything on here. Let me see if I can show a little bit closer. You can see maybe in the dash. Maybe a little bit better lighting now. But you can see the interior, the little chromes I put on the seat. So yeah, so there you go. Really happy with the paint. I put this, took it outside, and it really does shine really well. I did a little dry brush on the grill just to recess that a little bit. One thing I did have when I did the final assembly that put this back down, was that it was sitting racked a little bit. The front wheel was off the ground by about 1/8 of an inch, and I don't believe it was the center line of the axles or anything like that, because that seemed to sit flat. I think it's the pegs a little short in one corner, so when I screwed it down, it kind of racked it a little bit. So I went back in and shimmed it, and doing that kind of pulled this away with the lower valence panel a little bit off the bottom, but it's subtle. You know, if you stand back a couple feet from this, you can't even tell. So it's pretty level now, and it looks good. I'm happy with it. So that's it. I just wanted to show you that it's done, and thanks Cliff for putting this on. Had a good time doing it, reminiscing in my head about things, and a little bit of dust there. So there you go. So hope you like it, and we'll talk to you soon.